It was exciting.
Yeah, that's what's up. They put it. Where were you performing at in there? Because it's a small area.
Literally in the middle of everything.
Yeah, just there.
Yeah,
okay. right under the Mermaid.
It was crazy. My mom came to that show. It was literally my first show ever, like getting up in front of people. 5 minutes before the show was supposed to start, they called me and said the show's canceled. So I went home and I started drinking. I was like, fuck it, we're gonna drink, whatever. And then 10 minutes later, they called me and they were like, the show's back open. It's back on. I had just finished like a whole bottle of drinking, so I still went and did that show. So I could tell you,
faded.
I was there in spirit, but I don't know how it went though. 10 years, 12 years later, we still doing it though.
That's what's up.
Man, that's what's up, man. So you've been doing it for a long time, man. What made you really want to start selling jokes?
Honestly, you know, it's no crazy ass backstory. I just always was the one making people laugh, you know, in my family and stuff. Thanksgiving, I remember this one specific time. We were going around the kitchen telling everybody's saying what they're thankful for. You know, like my grandma was like, I'm thankful for my health, my family here. My father was like, I'm thankful for my family here. And because everybody's saying their shit and it gets to me, and I was like, I'm thankful for my good looks. And like half the room started laughing, and then the other half was like, not the time, not the time. And that was the moment I was like, I can make people laugh. Man. Ever since then, it's been, I swear, that's the first moment I ever like got a roaring laugh in my family.
You had it in you, didn't you? It was stage presence, y'all.
I'll never forget that either.
Even the ones that was like, not the time, you know, they wanted to laugh in spirit, you know, because they knew it was funny.
They was like, that boy funny.
But I should like, don't tell him no. Don't tell him that. He still got some growing to do.
Well, when we're talking about laughing and some spirits, I do have one person to talk about. You know, RIP to a specific social media icon, Kevin Samuels.
Man,
you know,
let's have a moment of silence for that brother. Let's have a moment of silence for that brother, man.
A little bit,
yeah.
There we go. Yeah. You know why I mess with Kevin Samuels?
Talk to me.
And it's just because he's a black man like us, but this man just started living his movie. When I say movie, he's getting the recognition that he's been working towards.
Right.
And he's really had a dream and he saw it through. You might not agree with what his topics are and everything, but that's just a part of that man that he's letting us into seeing. You got to salute a man who works hard and achieves their dream.
I like how you said that.
I truly mean that. Like I don't get caught up in whatever he was talking about. That's entertainment. It comes on a tube. If I haven't talked to that man about what he really feels, I can't really judge him off who he really is.
Right.
I don't get caught up on all that. This is all a game to me. You know what I mean? So some people play it right and some people play it crazy.
Yeah.
No, 100%, man. With Kevin is he was so polarizing. You know what I mean? And you know, he was on multiple people's outlets. You know, and it's interesting your take on it because. You know, he just kept working. He was in his 50s.
Yes.
So when you out there and people is tripping because they 28 because the shit ain't happened.
Say that.
Oh, man, the dude was well into his 50s and in his success, whether you want to say it's justified or not, it was short-lived for this man. And I would say, regardless of how you feel about him, kind of a lot of the venom has been put towards his way. Like his mom had to find out on social media because people was bashing him. There was people out there talking about, oh, I'm glad he's dead. And anyone that follows him or likes his videos, I hope it happens to them too. Like it's been a whole lot of venom. So anybody that's hated that much, I kind of be I go against the grain. I gotta figure out why he's hated so much. There's something got to be going on, and I've tapped into his videos and stuff like that. And just like you said, it's entertainment, but I think he was dropping some gems, and there's some gems I think that whether you agree with him 100%, everything ain't absolute.
Yeah, but
you can pick parts of what he was saying and what he was trying to do, and be like, you know what? I think it brings us closer to the center because you got everything. You got outlets like The View and all these other shows and stuff like that, that's selling one side.
Yeah.
And then you had him by himself kind of bringing on one side. And I think it's not one side is right. I think it was a good polar opposite to kind of bring people into the center. And I think, politics should follow the same way.
Man.
So, but that's how I feel about it. Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, regardless how you feel about him. Definitely went out way too early.
Way too early, man.
That's crazy.
And just to piggyback on that, I don't even agree with myself 100% of the time. You know what I mean? So if you listening to somebody and going fully absolute with them, that's your projection of it. You putting that on them. I can't subscribe to that. But there's always something there. If he's polarizing, there's something there that people don't want to listen to, that they're trying to turn their back to because it's scratching at something. I think there's always, he might not have the best delivery. You know, you go watch a comedian, he might have some great material, but don't know how to deliver that shit the right way.
Right.
That might have been Kevin, but like you said, it was short lived. He didn't even really get a full chance to form into what he could have become. You know, this was just his entry into his.
Just starting.
He could have been, you know, 3 years from now, at 60, somebody completely different, but he's in the
100%.
game now as a black man, you know. So RIP to that man for sure.
Facts, facts.
He gave me Paul Mooney vibes.
Cool.
He gave you what vibes?
Paul Mooney vibes.
Paul Mooney?
Kevin Samuels? Yeah.
I would say more Patrice O'Neal, man.
Just, you know.
Like, you know what I mean? With some of the stuff he was talking about, because Patrice was saying a lot of this
Patrice was saying
on stage that nobody was really paying attention to, or at least I know in the comedy world, comics was giving him his flowers, but I think to the mainstream he really wasn't talked about as much. But I think he kind of is more or a T.K. Kirkland, something like that.
Yeah,
like I felt like
you know, he was saying shit that like you said is polarizing, and it's Patrice was amazing because he could deliver you some shit that you needed to hear, and also that you wasn't expecting to hear.
Yep.
But he made it easy going down, and I think that's just kind of the job as a comedian in this world right now, and is we get to deliver you news that you don't fucking want it, but you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? So I fucking shout out Patrice for sure.
Untimely death. What was the cause of it? Did they ever come down
Yeah,
to
it was cardiac arrest.
Yeah,
it was
man.
new stuff came out. I was reading on it.
Dude, I just was listening to his 911 call and all that, you know.
Well, he had time to call.
No, his girl that he was with, she
girl he was
called
with,
and she was trying to do CPR. This whole thing, it was chaotic. But apparently he had like some type of, I don't want to say it wrong, Hodgkin's or some shit. Like he had some type of cancer in his chest, and so when they did radiation, apparently after they do that type of radiation, you have like a 30% higher chance of having a heart attack. And then, you know, they were saying he was taking Viagra pills from the gas station and shit. Who knows if that's true? It's an easy thing to sell, but who knows?
Right.
I know one thing, like, because I would watch a lot of, man, that dude would go through, because I would watch maybe a whole video, not just the clips, because that's what kind of went viral.
That's where.
But if you watch it, like, man, he would down like 3 or 4 Red Bulls. So a lot of people was talking about that. I know a lot more has come out about the woman. She was an RN, you know, and stuff like that. And I guess he had fell over, and you know, she called down. She tried to get a defibrillator too.
She was trying to call the front desk to get the AED or whatever. I was like, she was really going in. And so when I saw some stuff on Twitter talking about like it might have been some foul play. I ain't know.
They're not saying the name because of that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why her name's not being released, because automatically people, you know how the internet get. They get attached to that name.
Sleuths.
Man, they're gonna find who that is. They're gonna get the IP address. They're gonna get her actual address, and then it's just
Find
gonna
out
go
who she
from
worked
there.
for. It's gonna be the story about
Yeah.
her more than it is about Kevin Samuels for sure.
So I get why they not putting her name out there and stuff like that.
I have a
crazy though,
special
man.
set of skills.
He just really got popping though, y'all. For real,
Yeah,
like
real.
Kevin Samuels was not. Beginning of the pandemic, he wasn't really known like that.
Well,
Right.
that's what really was his launching point, was
Yeah.
the pandemic, because everybody's at home and everybody was watching his shows, and just watching YouTube in general, and just watching, you know, social media. And I think he caught a wave, and he was touching some chords, man. I'm just like, some of the stuff he was saying, you can't 100% discount. Like, you can go on about his delivery and talk about how he was talking about people, and you know, saying, you know, you can't be calling no woman Emmett Smith.
Nah, you can't be calling no women
You know what I mean?
leftovers. I don't give.
You know,
He said,
but I get it. I can understand that.
Yeah, I'm
you know,
saying.
but you know, it's that was the way he went about it, and he went at it 100%. He don't deserve to die. Like a lot of people putting that out there. That's bad in
No one
That's
deserves
just
that.
crazy.
You know what I
Say,
mean?
No one.
You ain't the
Yeah.
judge and none of that. You ain't the one who get to tell people that they supposed to go. Like people lose their mind on this internet shit sometimes.
Oh yeah,
I was like, bro, what are y'all? You don't even care about this. Like, just go.
it's
about
gonna
your
go
business.
away. But that's the thing with the internet. That's the effects.
Yeah.
Is that it gives you that instant reaction to what comes to your head.
Yeah.
And that's
That's not always
going to
the
be
good thing.
the long-term effects of too much information being readily available at your fingertips.
Well, people like me don't forget, motherfucker. So watch what you say. I promise you.
Right.
Especially on this podcast, y'all.
Yeah,
He about to air it out.
Air it out.
Like, almost finished. As soon as it get down.
Speaking about airing things out, man, we had a big elephant, you know, to talk about in the room here. What's been happening? I feel like most comedians are now being targeted when it comes to like public spaces lately. You know, we recently had a situation with a certain somebody getting jiggy with it, slapping somebody. You know,
Y'all a magnet for the hands. What's
Right.
going on?
What's
You know
going
what
on,
it is?
man?
I'm so glad we brought this up. I've been wanting to talk about this shit. It's I'll speak on that specific situation. My perspective of it, I think coming from Will's side, that slap wasn't meant for Chris. You know what I mean? That wasn't specifically for what Chris said on that stage.
Ooh.
Will processed and was like, you getting slapped for that.
What we talking about then?
I feel like Will has been the butt of jokes for the past 4 or 5 years, ever since the 2016 shit. He didn't even go to the Oscars in 2016. They were protesting it. He had to sit home, listen to people make jokes about that shit. The August Aslana shit, they're talking all that shit. Now we back here and I'm here. It ain't about me, but it's really about me. I'm about to
Right.
win this fucking Oscar. They didn't bring me here and put me in the front for nothing. You come up, you make a joke. I might laugh it off, but if I look at my girl, it's so much going on. It's so
Right.
much in my head. He just decided, not you, not here, not tonight. And if I got to go up there and slap you, the next nigga is going to know not to do that again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I truly believe that. I don't believe that there's any ill will from Will to Chris. I don't know the men, but I don't believe that. I do want to take a moment and say, shout out to fucking Chris Rock, bruh. I know he wanted to touch his face when he got slapped because I know that shit hurt it.
He took it like a champ, huh?
He fucking took it. I don't know if you guys remember, but he had this moment where he was like, I could, and he laughed and he just kept it going.
Right,
He kept
right.
it professional.
Yeah.
Because if 2 black men would have started fighting on that stage,
Right.
that's
Tragic.
gonna be the whole story. Is 2 niggas fighting at the Oscars, bruh.
Side
So
jargon.
you got to fucking look at Chris Rock and look at that's a professional. He took a slap from a 6'4", 5 nigga,
Right.
And he was getting bullied his whole life, and he kept it moving, bruh. And he's still making money off that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
damn.
I'm very proud of that shit. But
Some of the unseen things that people aren't even thinking
they're
about.
not even thinking about that. They just
Yeah.
see the slap and they thinking it's beef. It
Yeah.
ain't them 2 men. They probably have already talked and we don't even know. You
Right.
know, it's
Oh, yeah,
probably
I'm
squash.
sure of
It's
it.
probably squash. I mean, not the whole. You can't tell his brothers.
It's hard to say squashed, but I will say that I 100% agree. I definitely don't think that slap was for Chris Rock.
Nah.
You know what I mean? I definitely think it was you know, just a combination of everything that's been going on, and that was the lightning in the bottle.
It was
That
just
was the
that
last straw,
moment.
and he was just like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit, man.
He was legit
Literally,
fed
I'm
up.
tired of this shit, man. And just went and just did what he did, and I think that it was just a a lapse in judgment on his part. And like you said, Chris Rock for any grown man to take a slap
Right.
from another
A
grown man,
slap, you
it's
know?
a slap. It's not a hit.
a
It's one
punch.
thing to get punched and you to take the hit or the fall or whatever, but for you to get slapped, that's such a. My natural response to a slap is to go at your throat.
Yeah, no, no,
like so
coming back.
that's. But for him, he made the better decision, especially being a black man. And I said this on our show when we was talking about it. That would have been tragic
It would have been tragic, bro.
for him to go at it. Yeah, he would have saved face for himself as his manhood, but at what cost?
Right.
It would have been literally you know how people already perceive black people anyway.
Even if we all know it's not the case, it's gonna be perceived.
It's gonna be perceived
It
that
will,
way.
right,
It's gonna be perceived that way, and I think he knew in that moment he couldn't, and that's why he called out the cops because they was gonna try to arrest
They was
him.
gonna put that.
They was gonna arrest him because they was asking him Will to leave and everything, and then he wouldn't leave, and then the cops came, and the cops said, "Hey, you want to press charges?" And Chris was like, "Nah,
Yeah.
I don't want to press charges." So I 100% agree.
I salute to that, man. And then just piggybacking off and moving forward, I've always subscribed to the idea, I've almost been approached on stage before. I was doing a show out here. I won't say the name of the venue and shit, but I was doing a show out here, and it was like more of a sketchy venue. There was this couple, Hispanic couple, and this lady, she was there with a couple of her friends, and she had on this blue dress. It was 2 of her friends, and then there was some dude behind her, and she was just chit chat, talking through my whole set. So I started going back at her, we riffing and shit. And she started riffing at me, and then she did something to close her legs, and I was like, "Thank God she just closed her legs. We can all take a breath now."
Oh,
just trying to.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, as soon as I got done saying
Like that?
now, her fucking husband said boink and beeline straight down the aisle for me.
Oh,
He
shit.
bald headed Mexican cat. He's walking on there like Will. Ain't no smile.
That is hilarious.
But I don't go do no shows, especially if I'm in Sacramento without some of my niggas. I know how I get. I talk a lot. I bring some of my niggas.
I'd have been on the floor laughing.
Bruh.
it was a tussle. They started, the security and my homies,
Right.
they tussle with them. exited him out the room. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, what's going on? Oh my god!"
Right.
And then they came back in. They gave me the thumbs up, like it's good to go. And the first thing when I got the mic, and I was like, "Anybody else want to say some shit?"
How far away from they were from the stage?
He was probably about where Brad is right here in the white, and I was probably where Wyndon was. And he got to about like right where that camera, and they grabbed him and tussled him out that way.
Wow.
He didn't even say nothing the whole time, which made me more scared that he was going to like shoot me or some shit. I was like,
retaliation after.
What it sounds like is you had some good security there,
man. Shout out to my
that's
guys,
a short distance.
Shout out to my guys over at Smoking Joe.
I mean, this has got to be like 10, 15 feet, but we got a video here of another recent incident that happened. It took place with Dave Chappelle that, I would say that, it's probably a good 10, 15 feet before he got a good run on the stage, right?
He's sitting in the front row.
He's sitting in the front row.
He bought this ticket.
Yeah.
He bought this ticket.
Purposely knowing what he was getting ready to do.
That's not a cheap ticket, man.
Oh, I know. This Dave Chappelle Netflix series.
He's a rapper, too.
That's scary.
Is that right?
That's what came out about it.
Yeah, he made a song called Dave Chappelle.
Wow.
That's one of his biggest songs. It's a terrible song. It's a terrible song.
Wow. So we're gonna
if it was a great song, I don't think he'd have been storming the stage.
I think it would have been a little different.
So we're gonna go ahead and show you guys a quick clip. We're gonna go ahead and just see it one time, and just to see how quick things start happening. Because you had someone run the stage. You're lucky to have security guards quick enough to be on top of it to see that. So
look at the people over to the left. What's going on? What are y'all doing?
right, they're standing kind of behind the scene,
This was
and
at
then
the
you
end
see
of the
him jump
show.
up. I still don't see a security guard moving. They didn't move until they hit
And then
Dave Chappelle, and then both the
Slipping
niggas
and
slipped.
following like Looney Tunes.
Oh,
and shit.
he got stories to tell. He was like, I hit Dave Chappelle and shook somebody. He shook too, brother.
Look at dude's form on his
But
tackle.
look at
Run,
Dave. Dave
run,
takes
beat.
it, doesn't go down, turns his hips,
Right,
and then
yeah.
he stumbled down with him, bro. Dave's not a little dude, bro.
Yeah, and
Right,
Dave,
right.
but also Dave ain't no spring chicken either.
No,
Like
he's
for
not.
him to stay up, like that could have been bad.
That could,
Right.
and so apparently he had a gun that
That was like a knife,
turns
right?
into a knife if you pull the trigger.
The dude that attacked Dave?
Oh yeah, he had a gun.
Oh,
and when you
shit.
pull the trigger, a blade pops out, and it's like a fucking bayonet. So this could have been really, really bad. We laughing about it and shit right now, and it's easy to laugh at.
100%.
If I would have woke up that Sunday and Dave Chappelle would have been dead,
Right.
Off of some shit like this.
in front
Right.
of everybody on stage, I don't know if comedy would have been the same for me. You know what I mean? So
Right.
shout out to Dave still being here and having his wits about him. But damn, this shit is crazy. It's crazy.
I will say this, man. Dude got more than one thumb.
Oh, he got
Ooh, did
You
you
see
see
him
that?
with the
They had that boy
he was-
arm.
He was
Man.
knotted up,
Hey, security got they licks in.
looking
They was like,
like-
Dave, you want one of these?
looking like Hunchback of Notre Dame cartoon version where he had knots on the man.
Yeah, you guys seen the episode of Martin and shit when he comes back from the
I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
thinking.
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
Martin.
bro.
literally walking around. His arm was backwards. That shit was crazy to me.
That-
With
yeah.
it- and they still handcuffed him like he was going to do something. Like he was about to start swinging that thing.
But that's crazy though, man. That's really speaking volumes to the importance of having security that are really actively on it. Now you probably had your boys there; they weren't really hired as security, but they had your back.
Yeah, they could tell what
You know.
time it was. Because, when I start talking like that, I'm not a big shit talker to the crowd. I might talk shit about myself or talk shit about a topic, but I'm not picking certain people out unless you're talking. Then now we talking together. So
Right.
I got
You
a
shouldn't be
microphone.
talking.
You're gonna
Free game.
lose.
You shouldn't be talking. You had a show.
100%.
Shut the fuck up.
And even if I do make a joke about you, the door's not locked in here. You know what I'm saying? You could always walk out. That's gonna hurt me more than you coming up and thinking you gonna clown me. You ain't gonna never clown me.
Right.
If you get up and walk out, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna think about that. Like, damn, I made that person feel so uncomfortable with my job. They left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't ever want to make somebody who come out for joy
Right.
have to leave feeling sad. That's not the point of comedy. Not in my world. So, do I think about that lady? Yes, sometimes. But sometimes you gotta clown. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
Yeah,
you had
I
a
feel you.
I think you when you had a comedy show, I think you need to be prepared for that.
It's-
Like I feel like that just comes with it, man.
Facts.
It's the same thing being at SeaWorld. You sit in the first couple
You
rows,
might
you about to get wet.
a little bit. You
Like, that's what I'm saying.
That's part
I
of
went-
the show.
I went through it. It's funny you said that because as Laughs Unlimited saw Tony Baker.
Yeah, that's my guy.
And he came through, and I forget the dude who was one of the dudes that came on before him. But he made a joke. I'm sitting right in the front, and he made a Drake joke saying I look like Drake. I was like, and I took it too, and it was funny though. I give it to him.
Hey.
And then Tony said something too, said something about Buff Drake, something like that. But I took it, but he ain't like stay on it. It was like one, but I was laughing. It's funny. It's part of the show. After the show, you know, because I'm sure they deal with that, like people coming up to them
all the time.
on them, and I was walking up, and you know what I mean, and went to talk to him, and he was like,
Thanks for being a good
man,
sport.
yeah, he said, man, thanks, exactly.
Yeah,
He said, thanks for being a good sport, man, and everything. You know, got a shirt from him and everything. Took a
Fucking
picture
right,
with him.
right.
Hella cool, but it's like I feel like some people just take that shit so personal,
Right,
And
right.
it's like, why are you gonna go to a comedy show with a fucked up ass attitude? Anyway,
Yeah.
like that just doesn't even make sense to me.
I'd be scared as fuck trying to sit in the front row. Shit.
I know, I was with it, man. It was like, but I will give them that. Both the jokes, Tony
They
said,
was
and the
nice.
dude that was with him, they was good
And
jokes.
that's the rule of comedy. If you're gonna say something mean, it better be fucking funny.
Right.
Because if not, you're gonna have to. You can say whatever you want on the stage. You can't tell everybody how to react. You know what I mean?
That
I
shit
think
was funny.
creating that certain vibe and shit. I've had a couple people walk up to me at the end of the shows, and first thing I always say if I see them, especially if I said something to them on stage, is "Thank you for being a good sport." Always, it's just you got to acknowledge because they ain't forgot.
Right.
So
Very
don't
true.
make them think you forgot either. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. So I subscribe to the idea. If I go up there and I say something crazy, that something might happen, but something might happen to you too.
With you saying that,
Oh, go ahead.
with you saying that, do you think that this is the age of clout? Meaning that, do you find that these people are now going to start trying to do this to have a trend, or you know?
Let's look at the history of human beings. That's just how we move. Once
Right.
we see something work and you get a little 15 minutes of fame, why the fuck would not? You saw the guy, I don't know if you guys saw the guy that tried to start a fight with Mike Tyson at the comedy show.
Oh yeah, he pulled a gun out
on the host.
We talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. I talked about that.
Like this is real. Now this monkey see monkey do, you feel emboldened. You see that it's not too much real repercussions. And I don't think before people thought it was like security or some mystique, but I think them seeing it now and it ain't too much bad shit happening.
Right.
It can embolden somebody to be like, oh, I'm about to go knock this comedian out and get my 15 minutes of fame because I just knocked out a comedian who was talking shit.
Right.
That's gonna get you some clout on the internet for sure. But like I said, something might happen to you too.
Right.
Yeah, like
yeah.
like
Go
you,
ahead, try it, buddy.
you
Go ahead.
storm the stage and you
Storm
slip.
it. Let me see it. You end out here worse than that one
You
chicken
might
arm.
knock a comedian out, but you also might get knocked out by a comedian. That shit's gonna be real bad. I tell you right now. But yeah, man. I hope that maybe it's an opportunity for somebody like myself to make a video about fucking comedy show etiquette. You know, there's always something out there. There's a lane to show people, yo, when you come to these shows, sit your ass in the back if your pride is too high. You know what I mean? If you can't fucking take a joke, sit in the back. Some people are
That
trying
part.
to come out and learn how to be in these settings. And so I take that in consideration too. Not everybody who's there is trained and ready for that type of environment, but they're trying to get used to it and they're trying to experience it. And so, you know, you can look somebody in the eye when you're on stage and see they don't want to fuck it. Don't say that. Don't say that to me. please.
Class is in session. We're about to learn today.
If the tequila's flowing, I don't know what I'm saying. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, as I believe you said on one of your shows, these jokes will slap back.
They will slide back, bro.
All right.
I'm, you know, from the hood, bro. That's from a different space. I might smile and shit, but it's different.
Oh man, Mars, let's start with you, man. We're gonna do something that I kind of found pretty interesting because, you know, we've been talking about quite a few of them already, but like, I want to kind of know who you have, and you know, we can open it up to everybody because I'm pretty sure we're all gonna have different opinions.
Yeah,
but
I want to hear y'all shit too. For sure.
who you got as top 3 comedians?
Top 3.
And I guess let's generalize that because I guess I should say stand-up comedians.
Yeah, I don't. And
You know.
shout out to my social media comedic personalities and shit. If you don't get on stage, you're not a comedian to me. You're a comedic personality, a comedic person, and I do not take away from your humor and your content that you're making people laugh. That's the game. That's the job. But we got to establish the world of a stand-up comedian and a fucking social media comic personality.
We
We
just
have
get the
to.
definition straight.
You know what I
We
mean?
just got facts right
We
there,
have
man.
to. It just. There's always going to be friction if we don't establish that. You know what I mean? Because then you get somebody like Drewski winning best stand-up comedian award shit. He ain't even get on stage and shit.
Right.
But yeah, just saying that for the people out there, for whoever the fuck listening. You saying top 3?
Top 3. Start with number 3.
And we going off alive, right?
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive, stand up.
I got it. Because I don't want to leave some people out.
I know,
want
man.
to talk about some
I
people,
know.
bro. All right, fuck it. I'm going to go off. All right, so my number 3 is Gerard Carmichael.
Gerard Carmichael.
Yes, he had the Carmichael show. He's done a couple of specials. He has his new one on HBO right now called Rothaniel. I won't really go too much into detail about it, but he actually comes out as gay on the fucking on the actual special itself. It was like one of his last things. He's I think he's like 30, 31 maybe. And I not grew up, but when he was doing the LA circuit, I was out there too because I moved to LA back in like 2014 and go chase the comedy scene out there.
Okay.
And just like, you know, I was out there just trying to make friends, and then I saw this black kid who's doing shows at the Comedy Store. He's in the belly room killing it. I'm talking about crushing it. He's from South Carolina, but he had this flow of material like Dave, like well thought out, but then like a pacing of just like a slow, just Southern motherfucker. So
Just
he took his
chill.
time with it.
Right.
And I'm watching like the room is full, and he would do a joke and then just get quiet. And then go, and I'm like, how the fuck is he keeping people here listening to this nigga while he's like legit going dead silent? And I took a lot from that. And one time I went to one of his shows, just chasing to go watch him. I got hit by a car on my way to go inside.
God damn.
Yeah, I got hit by a Beetle. It was a newer one too, so you know a bitch was driving. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Fucking hit me right before I went into the show. And as I was getting up to like dust myself off, he was coming out to smoke a cigarette. He was like, yo, you just got hit by a car. And then I'll show you that picture at the end. And he was like, you just got hit by a car. I was like, I know, bro. I was trying to come see your show. He was like, you want to take a picture? I was like, for sure.
Guy just got hit by a car, but wanted my picture. I'm honored.
But Gerard Carmichael, if you haven't watched any of his stand-up, go check him out, bruh. I don't know what else to tell you. He's one of the dopest, not just a black comedian, but just a comedian with content. And he's just taking over Hollywood right now. It's exciting to see.
Number 2.
You think it's making it hard. I
know.
Because I just want to go with the live people right now. I ain't even going to be fake. I'm going to keep it real. Because a lot of people be like, Richard Pryor. I'm like, bruh, for sure. Don't get me wrong. For sure.
I thought about that.
For
right.
fucking sure, Richard Pryor. But
everybody's different.
it don't really relate to me like that. I'm going to go with Martin Lawrence, number 2.
Oh, okay.
That's
All
interesting.
right.
Def Comedy Jam. Just because a lot of people always ask me who you feel like your material is kind of around and shit, or who you, I don't know, mimic or whatever.
Right.
I grew up watching Martin. I grew up watching the show, and then I also grew up watching Def Comedy Jam. This is when I thought I used to watch comedians, and I thought the niggas just went up there and started making it up when they got up there.
Right.
I was like,
is that good?
I could never do that.
Right.
I could never just walk up there and start talking and just have jokes going. Nah, I didn't know they practiced that shit. So, but Martin, just from his fucking, he's a real comic that I subscribe to just because he's big, like he's over the top. And when you come to watch a laugh, you ain't trying to watch somebody sometimes that is just rigid and
right.
like he takes you into this fucking world. It's joyful, but it's also pure humor. You know what I mean? And then number 1, my GOAT, who no matter whenever I feel like I should stop doing comedy, I'll watch some of his shit and it makes me start doing comedy again. That's Dave fucking Chappelle.
Right.
For fucking ever. Right. I stopped doing comedy for a year. I was just like burnt out. I was over it. Then I watched Sticks and Stones and I was like, I gotta get back on stage because that nigga is that boy.
Is that the one where he came back?
Yeah, the fucking pilot outfit on.
Yeah.
Hey, man, he says this line. He was like, I'm gonna say something I probably shouldn't say. That's my fuck. I need to get that tattooed on my back, bro. That's literally my life. I always say some shit that I probably shouldn't say, but that's life. But
that's how you feel, right?
Dave, Martin, Gerard Carmichael, 3 black men. And then number 4 and 5 is probably some white people, so don't even get mad. I got y'all too.
I'm gonna go ahead and say with that, because you mentioned something with Martin Lawrence. You mentioned like, you thought things were like a freestyle. You just coming up there and shooting jokes. I kind of felt that way with old school Bernie Mac.
That's we gonna get to it.
He had to go out there on stage, and I mean, I'm pretty sure he had jokes.
Nah, Bernie was a funny person.
He had jokes, but he had to go out there and not just tell his jokes. He had to win a crowd.
And he would one of the things I say to myself sometimes when I do feel fear before I go on stage. Bernie did this one thing where he's like, as soon as he walked out on stage, he was like, he screamed, I ain't scared of none of you motherfuckers.
Right.
And sometimes you got to do that because the fear of not being, you don't never think you're not gonna be funny, but it's just a fear of like, fuck, I don't know these people.
Right.
Right.
But sometimes I'll be backstage and I'm like, I ain't scared of none of these motherfuckers.
Right. You gotta have that confidence.
I know that feeling. And
Yeah.
so, don't get me wrong. Bernie is, he's just part of that tier. That's God level. Like the
Whole
Richard
nother-
Pryor, the Patrice, the
whole nother.
You know what I mean? But I'm going off people that I put in that I'm, you know, my will hold that I like to watch and shit. But fuck him.
Even when he was in Kings of Comedy, was it Kings of Comedy?
Kings of Comedy,
yeah,
bruh.
right, yeah. Cedric
Mack
and all them, yeah.
Bernie
man,
Mac
he was fire.
You guys remember when they were gambling backstage?
Yeah.
And they was like, "What you got?"
Right.
And he flip over his car. He's like, "I ain't got shit." I still laugh to this day. I still do that shit all the time. They be like, "Yo, you guys want to split the bill?" I be
Right.
like, "I ain't got shit."
Now this
What's
next dude.
your top 3?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Bernie Mac. You know, I hate to say number 3. I just had to say Bernie Mac because
You're saying 3 comments.
it was a,
We'll just
it
get
was
to the
just,
third.
yeah. There we go. You know what? I may get some ridicule for this, but I loved every minute of his show, of his series, and that's going to be Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
That's number
You know,
one. That's your number one.
Like I would say, if I'm gonna watch a stand-up comedy, I might need security. Would be the number one that I'm looking to put in there because I'm laughing the whole fucking time, bro. Who the way, who the way, who the way, who the way, ooh, nah, nah, nah. You know, just random shit. Africa.
Yeah.
He had the bird noises, like it was just going crazy, bro. I was like, bruh, just
multi-talent.
comedic, just straight up.
Legitimately, I would say right before Donald Glover came, he was the most talented man in Hollywood. Jamie Foxx.
Oh, yeah.
Legit anything.
Sing.
Very well too. Some people
Right.
could do like Donald Glover could do everything. Some things he's better at. You know, Jamie Foxx was a world-renowned stand-up, world-renowned music artist, could play the fucking piano,
Right.
and acted his ass off. And not just in one movie. He won an Oscar for that one, but don't get it twisted. Jamie Foxx has been making fucking movies that I laugh at to this day. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. And even on the drama side.
On the drama side,
Yeah.
fucking don't play with him. Do not play with Jamie Foxx. That's a
Right.
bad motherfucking boy right there.
Facts.
I mean, we all know he's well paid for what I'm back.
Yeah.
Right.
However, the reason why I'll give a little pushback. I feel like his stand up length, it don't really fucking matter. Don't get me wrong. Jamie Foxx cut his chops doing stand up, but it's hard to subscribe to him because it was so far long ago.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
hear you.
You know what I mean?
And you mentioned that too. You mentioned like the difference between stand up and just being funny and
Yeah.
comedic. I feel like it was early Jamie.
That was Jamie. Jamie
You
was
know,
a stand up.
right.
Yeah.
He in it though because he did it. He did the stand up.
He did it.
You can't
He
take
did
it away from him. You can
I'm-
never take it away from
But
him.
I feel like after that, it wasn't like he wanted to go back to that platform
Yeah.
and do it again. It was more so, boom, I'm off to movies.
That's
I'm off to
Music.
music.
Because
Like,
you
he's
know
doing,
why? Stand up is the hardest art form than all that other shit. I'll stand on that shit.
Right, okay.
It's instant gratification, is instant recognition, is also instant. You ain't good at this shit. You got to
Right.
go right in front of them people. You don't really get to practice this shit unless you practice it in front of people. So you don't. There's no secret tricks to this shit. You either got it or you don't. And sometimes when you get so far removed from real life, real situations, when you try to go up there and talk about it, I feel like people it's not gonna resonate with them as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I feel like Kevin Hart's kind of going through that right now a little bit. I've been watching some of his newer stand-ups. Don't get me wrong, his new show with Wesley Snipes is a fucking banger.
I haven't seen that.
That man is in there acting. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
He's crossing over. But I feel like his stand-up is starting to get to this point where it's just Kevin Hart. It's-
Right. It's just him talking.
That dude's overrated. if you ask
Kevin
me.
is.
Yeah, he's
Let me tell you.
overrated.
Okay, let me
I
say
was
this.
gonna put him in there, in that mix.
Is that do you have your 3?
He'd be 3. Only because
Kevin
he's
Hart?
He only. Oh wait.
I'll
wait,
take that.
wait.
I'll take that.
Wait. Only.
I got your back with that too.
Only because
Hart.
it's relevant and he's done multiple shows in a stand-up platform and most of them are funny. It's not all the same. Don't get me wrong. He's taking old jokes. He's incorporating them in the new jokes. It makes people follow him. He's done multiple stand-ups to have you tuned in.
His early on stand-ups was fire.
Look at this.
I'll give him
He
that.
was a cultural phenomenon. Every stand-up that Kevin put out when he first put out, there was a moment that we would all use in our life. Like, you gonna learn today.
Right.
Somebody
Right.
come look at this. Every time he did a stand-up, there was
Right.
something that we would go say in our regular fucking life. He was the
Right.
first person that we were memeing in life. It wasn't even like putting on the internet. Like, I
That's
would
a
say,
good
you
point.
gonna learn today. And I was memeing him, you know what I mean, at
Right.
school and shit. Kevin Hart is a fucking undeniable fucking goat.
So that's your 3. So
Yeah.
you got say it one more time.
I'm gonna say number one. I hate it. For me personally, Jamie, Bernie Mac, Kevin Hart.
That's a solid list, bro.
Okay, so we share one.
I'm assuming Bernie.
Bernie is number one. I'm gonna go in reverse. I'm gonna go number one
Facts.
first,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go
Facts.
back. Bernie, to me, he don't miss.
Facts.
That's not
He's
bad.
I'm with
batting
Robert
1,000.
all
Right.
the way.
Like when you talk about the movies that
I'm with
he's
Rob
in,
all the way.
bro, think Dollar and Players Club,
Right.
Iconic.
Jangling, like, and I'm just talking about the movies. But his stand up, what you talked about, like when he did the one in New York, and everybody was getting booed. That's the iconic one. That's when he really launched.
Right.
And he came out, man, I ain't scared of you, motherfucker, and just
Right.
start going in. To me, I think his presence, and he started off late too, because he been doing it for a minute, but he hit late.
Late.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And man, like I feel like just Bernie to me because he just didn't miss.
Preach, Rob. Preach.
And his show was funny too. His show's underrated too.
I'll
Right.
subscribe to that like a
Oh,
motherfucker.
it showed the Bernie Mac show.
Yes.
Bro, that was fucking Bible for anybody.
And he was
raising
number
kids.
one on the Kings of Comedy. He had the best
He
set.
was the best one on there.
He's
He's
the
the
best
one
set.
who made
Easy.
that shit.
Right.
I will go watch that set today and
Yeah.
still laugh like it's the first time watching that
Yeah,
shit.
Bernie to me is my number one.
Icon.
Number two is Dave Chappelle.
Nice.
That's who my number two is. I think Dave's delivery. I think Dave's his ability to tell a story.
Right.
It's unmatched,
Man, like when we can go all the way back for What It's Worth, the one he did at the Fillmore, the one he did in DC, you know, like. But when he was talking about how you gonna make a joke out of stovetop stuffing, like, bro, had me crying on the floor.
Right.
Like Dave is like
Iconic.
Yeah, but it's the fact. It's also it's what's more with Dave. The mystique of him is the comeback.
Yes.
You was
That
on
fucking-
top. You went to the bottom,
Very
and
true.
you was able to rise back
Very
to the top.
true.
I think that's so underrated.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason. It's close to almost me making me put him one, but I think just Bernie to me with his funnies it has me number one. They're so close. My third person, he's not as known.
Okay.
This guy.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, this dude is not afraid to say a joke.
Okay.
Corey Holcomb
I knew you was gonna say
is
yeah.
my
Corey
dude.
Holcomb.
He's
Shout out to
funny.
Corey Holcomb.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go see him May 22nd on
Shout out to
Sunday.
Corey.
I'm about to go see him at Punchline. Corey
I ain't
Holcomb,
ass, nigga.
bro. This dude is so
I
funny,
ain't pussy from the back.
bro.
How you gonna make me feel bad? I ain't pussy from the back. When I'm looking into that asshole, I'm degraded. Corey Holcomb.
Man.
But okay, I would say this
shit.
too. You guys know Deion Cole?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh,
Corey
yeah.
Holcomb and Deion Cole.
yeah. Deion Cole.
Them
yeah.
niggas, I tell y'all right now,
man.
behind the scenes and also in front of the scenes, but behind the scenes, them is two of the hardest working black comedians, and they don't
Bro, the
they write for
funnies.
shows, bro.
yeah.
They
Man.
write for shows,
Yeah.
like they write white humor. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? And like
right.
really deliver that shit well. So
Right.
it's they might not get the flowers they ever deserve, but them two dudes right there. Is
They just not
forgot
afraid
about
to
that
say the
fool.
jokes that people want to say.
yeah, because they ain't got nothing to lose. Them niggas
Man,
ain't no
that-
big stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I forget. I think it was. I don't know what year it was. I know it was an All-Star Game event, and Shaq was in the audience. He was in the front row. There was a lot of celebrities. Man, when he did that joke, and you can take it how you want to take it. It was an abortion joke.
It's the perfect
yeah.
time for that.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, that might have been one of the funniest jokes I
know
heard.
exactly what joke he's talking about.
That when it comes to the funnies,
Yeah.
that dude is almost unmatched. Like that dude will leave you. It's crazy because I've seen him live 3 times. This will be the 4th time I've seen him.
Yeah, I got you. You about to go see him again?
Yeah. Oh well, I'm gonna go see May 22nd when he comes out here.
Where you gonna be at?
Punchline.
Oh, I'm going with you. Say
Yeah.
less. I'm going with you.
Yeah,
It's
it's on
easy.
Sunday.
We there.
He got
May
3
22nd.
shows. He got 3 shows. He got Friday, Saturday. So I'm going to
Oh,
Sunday
I'm
show.
going. I see, man.
And I swear, man, he's so funny. He'll be saying a joke. Sometimes you'll miss the next joke because you laughing from
still
the
laughing?
last
First
one.
one. Yeah.
Like I've never had that where my stomach
Where you
is
can't
hurting.
even get to the next one.
Like,
Right.
dude, the dude is man.
yeah.
I don't think he don't get the love, and I understand why he don't, because he ain't got no filter. And I mean, when I mean no filter, there ain't nothing there.
There is no. I've seen him fight a nigga on a podcast. Like one.
Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah.
like
Him and Ari Spears went at it with that on the. I seen that show. His podcast is
Ari
funny
Spears
too.
is a real boy. I saw Ari Spears when I was just coming up in 2017 at Cobb's Comedy in San Francisco. And like you were saying, he has one of those flows where he can get you into, I call it a trance, where you just laughing and laughing and laughing and your face start to hurt.
Right.
And by the time you got there, you like, what the fuck just happened in there, bro? I don't even know none of the jokes, but that shit was funny. Aries got that in him like a motherfucker. But there's also a dark side to them niggas too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
There's a dark side.
Oh yeah.
Well, Reddy, who you got?
Nah, I say Aries dude definitely got a dark side. Aries, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it to his face because it might come out, but he got a dark side. That nigga be drinking.
Well, Reddy, who you got?
Man, well, my humor's a little different, man.
Yes.
I don't like comedians that are trying to make me laugh. Like, I like naturals, you know, and it's just like the way they talk, it makes you laugh. And how they deliver it makes you laugh, to be honest. So for me, my list is gonna sound a little bit off.
Nah, let's hear it, man.
So at 3, I would have Cat Williams. You know what I mean?
You know what?
Damn. Okay. You know, these are good
He's
names
one
I ain't
of
thinking about.
the most underrated. And I can say that because he still should be where he was when he had his peak.
I agree. Like, to me, his raw ability was crazy. And he had his run, and then he had all that drama when he was out here in Sac acting a fool.
That's the part that fucking sucks about Cat.
Bro, he came. People don't even know this. He came to AT&T.
He came in the store.
He came to the AT&T at the old spot over there, and everybody thought when it came out, they thought because it was that situation with the Target employee,
Right.
They thought it was the Target in North Sac, but it wasn't. He went down the road. He went to the one in Woodland. That was the Target he went to. They was on Can-Ams. It was Suge Knight was with him too. They was all on them Can-Am Spiders or whatever. Yeah.
Suge was with him?
Yeah.
Yo, Cat is.
I don't know if Suge went to Target,
probably not.
but he was with him when he went to that AT&T stuff.
If you a
He asked
comedian hanging
one
around,
of our homeboys if his face was made out of Kevlar.
who asked?
Wow.
Cat Williams
Cat
asked somebody?
Williams did. He's like, let's find out if your face made out of Kevlar. We're like,
Wow.
oh, when he started throwing up, it was crazy.
This is why I don't hang out with gangsters, because I have that in me too. Like Cat, when you get around the wrong crowd and you already talking shit,
Right.
and you
And then you got that poison in you.
got that poison in you. And Cat has some damn here.
But see, that's what I loved about Cat. Cat was so real, though. You know,
It
that
was
was
too real.
He was.
He was.
You know, he was just a natural at it. Like, that's what his lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would have Cat at 3.
Love
Number 2, I would have Mike Epps.
God, I love that we pull it from. Look, man,
Ain't
I
even
can't
thinking about him.
say say nothing negative. You guys ain't saying no fucking shitty ass people.
Right.
Right. Mike Epps, to me, like, his delivery was everything.
Mike
You know
Epps
what I
is
mean? Like,
somebody else I feel close to with my humor too. I love that nigga.
I
man.
love Mike Epps. And then number 1, I'm with Rob. Like,
Burn.
Bernie's
Oh,
he's
right.
batting
Gotcha.
1,000.
I thought you said Rock. I was like, no.
Nah. Bernie Mac, man, like, we could turn on Kings of Comedy today. And we all
That
be on the
shit
floor.
is
And how many
accurate.
times have we watched that?
A million times.
I watched it
Wow.
the day it came out. Man,
Man.
I still laugh at it like it's the
Man.
first day, bro.
Bro, I still have it on DVD.
But you know what I love about this conversation, and you might think I'd be talking about comics and comedy all the time. I don't. I really reserve talking about that shit with certain people because you can't really talk about it with everybody. Some people feel like it either gets politicized or it's polarizing, or you know they can't separate the art from the artist, or it's just something about comedy. But I'm just looking at us talking about the people we fuck with and the joy they brought. That's really
It's about the funny.
that's
Right.
and
it's
the experience.
It's the experience.
I don't
the
care
joy,
what you
bruh.
did off stage.
Fuck all that
you know
shit.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
as you just stated, we can separate the art from the artist.
Hell yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, and I do that with a lot of stuff. Like, we're talking about music, when you're talking about sports.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a lot of people try to take away when they do something off the field, something that's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, or something that's not looked in the best light. And they try to rob them of their accomplishments.
Everything that else is happening.
Like so, for example, and I keep it fair. Like Ty Cobb, a baseball player, one of the best pitchers ever. Racist as fuck.
Yeah.
But I would never say
He's bad
that
at
the
baseball.
man can't pitch.
Right.
I would never say that. That's stupid to say that. That's like when people say they don't like Kobe Bryant because, you know,
All
whatever.
the
And it's
shit
like,
that
and then
happens.
why would you say Kobe sucks? You sound stupid when you say that.
That doesn't correlate. Those
Like,
two things
it doesn't add up. I don't care what you feel about that man and what happened in Denver and that whole thing, and he, you know,
Yeah.
he cheated on his wife or whatever. What that got to do with him putting
Playing
that ball
basketball.
in the basket and
Yeah.
winning them chips?
He did his
Right.
job.
Like, so
Very well.
you got to be able to do that when you're having these type of conversations.
Yeah.
If you want to have a social conversation, you want to talk about how great of a person they are. we can have that. But right now, if we talking about what they doing, what they did as a profession,
Hell yeah.
I feel like we got to separate that, as you just said.
And it's about the reason why I feel like I resonate with comedy or to comedy so much, and it's just I enjoy being around people who want to laugh. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong, I could be serious, but it's not my natural state of being. I'm in a natural state of just happiness. Oh, let me be interested in what you're doing, what's going on. Let me find the humor in the angle in that, and just watching y'all talk about your favorite comedians and watching like the joy, the smile that it pulled on y'all. That's the point of all this, man.
Man, I can't believe I didn't think of Mike Epps. I'm glad we came up with
I
this.
just
man.
watched Indiana Mike on Netflix the other day.
It's hard. It's hard to come up with comments, especially for top three, because you,
Right.
you
Top
feel like
three?
you leaving some guys out.
Yeah.
You gotta
You know what I
really
mean?
ride with your
Right.
top three.
And like when you brought up Martin, I thought about his joke, his bit that he did on Run Till That, when he was talking about when he said well you gotta wake their little ass up, like wake your ass up, little nigga.
yeah.
He says no, sometimes you gotta get in the pussy, like hold up, this daddy nigga, like bro, that skit, that bit is so funny, man.
Right,
It's like
right.
it's crazy. I
Mine
like
would be
having-
Mike Epps when he say when your girl around like, hey, praise the Lord Jesus, brother, man. Hey, good to see you, man. I'll see you at church next week.
That
You
nigga
see
ain't like that.
You see that nigga without his girl, he like, where the bitches at? Where the bitches? Hey, there go your girl right there. Oh, praise the Lord Jesus. Praise the Lord. All right, brother.
I love when Michael he'll start doing a joke and then he'll start acting it out.
Right.
And he'll just
Right,
when he hit
right.
that he did this one shit. I don't know if you guys seen his last special, Indiana Mike. He was talking about people that are bow-legged, and then next thing you know, he just walking around and doing the bow. I was like, bruh, this is like he's holding court like a nigga would in front of his friends at the high school
Right.
table, or
Right.
in jail, or fucking wherever the fuck you hold court at.
Right.
Like you could see all that happening in real time, and it's like, damn, that shit's dope as fuck, man.
Did you just one second? We don't have to go around the table, but just for you, do you got a favorite show that you've seen, like a somebody special that they did?
Yes,
Just
that's-
one.
Man, I don't even pull my phone up, but one of my dude, I went to go watch Kevin Hart, his most not the one that he did when he was in his living room, but the one right before that. I forget what the fuck it was called.
The one where he did a little
Let
mini
me explain.
scene. Yeah, there you go.
Let me explain.
Yeah, there
so
you go.
I don't know if you guys remember his stage, but he had a 360 stage, which is something that I've always wanted to do, even if I do it in a smaller venue. But a 360 stage is like, it sounds like a 360 stage, but his shit was a square like this table right here.
Like Dan Cook did with the arena.
Yes,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was a square, right? And it was angled. Every joke he did, he would go to one side of it and he's telling to this quarter of the arena, and then he would turn around and almost do the same joke, but just a 3% different. And when I tell you, bruh, when I went in there ready for this shit to suck, and just watching how he worked this whole fucking arena. It was at the SAP Center in San Jose. Man, that was one of the greatest shows. That he came out of the floor. Everybody's looking for where he's going.
That's like a music
And
performance.
when he came out
That's
the floor,
crazy. That's some
smoke
MJ
came
shit.
up at the end of the shit, fucking confetti. I was like, Brad, that was an experience. I've been to like
Right.
Dave Chappelle over in San Francisco. I've seen Dave, and I did a show with Dave actually in LA where I opened, and he came down the line at the end of the show and he's telling all the comedians what's up. And he was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he got to me, he was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
That's what's up, though.
That's my Dave
That's
moment,
what's
bro.
up.
Hey, that's what's up.
So in my head, I'm gonna work until he's like, "Oh shit, I remember you." You know what I'm saying? So, but
That's dope, though.
Kevin Hart, that nigga puts on a fucking show. He put on, and I got front row seats because this guy wanted to be my manager. He got me front row seats, and me and my girl went. It didn't work out as him being my manager though.
Right.
We went to go watch the show.
I guess that's huge. Certain things that you don't really notice in a comedy show, like stage presence, being able
True.
to talk to the audience, know that you're looking at them this time, looking this way, and I'm giving you attention on this side.
Yeah.
Like, those are things that I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't think about when they're looking at a show, but that's a huge effect. It adds to the ambience. Like, I feel like you're talking and your joke is directed at me right now because you're looking in this general direction.
You feel me?
know?
You would think when he's, like I said, it's a 360 stage, so he
Right.
might be talking to this side and I'm over here.
Mm-hmm.
So number one rule, you never want to give the audience your back ever. That's
Right.
not something you should never be doing a joke where your back is to it. I don't give a fuck if you grabbing a drink or some shit. You stop talking. You would think that it would take away from it, but I don't know if it was the jumbotron,
Right.
if the anticipation for him to come to you next,
Okay.
it all fucking hit on, and you're like, oh, he about to come with us and some shit.
So it sounds like it was well choreographed.
It was so
from him.
well choreographed. And
Like, it was-
he had motherfucking, guess who opened for his ass? Corey motherfucking Holcomb, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was
Corey actually bigs him up because he says that the one thing about Kev is that he fuck with you. He gonna really try to help you out.
Good for life.
And that's the one thing Corey actually, because I've watched his podcast, especially early on. I remember how
His shit
when
was
Corey
banging.
first started,
His shit was banging.
even before his 5150 show, he was on another radio show that he was borrowing. I remember him from day one. Like, I'm talking about going back to
Damn.
like 2013.
Damn.
Like I was watching this shit, and he was talking about how much, because you know how Corey Holcomb do not sugarcoat shit.
He ain't nobody.
If he don't fuck with you, or if he feel like you compromise in any way,
Right.
he will say it.
Fuck it, yeah.
But the one thing he says about Kev a lot, he said, man, that dude will really fuck with you. He said, regardless of how you feel about him being Hollywood or none of that, at the end of the day, man, the way he treated me, and he said the way I see him treat other people,
100%.
he said I can ain't do nothing but respect him.
He put him on what was that? The Wedding Ringer.
He was a wedding
Wedding
ringer,
Ringer,
and it was
right.
hella funny. And
Yeah.
he was on Wild 'N Out too.
Yeah, he was
Corey
on
Holcomb
Wild
did
'N Out.
Wild
I
'N
mean,
Out.
and you got the Plastic Cup Boys, bro. When I was following Kevin Hart before Kevin Hart I did a show in L.A. I got bumped. I was out there with Tony Christ, my cousin. HOF, shout out to Tony Christ.
Happy birthday, Tony.
Happy birthday, you old dirty dirt motherfucker. Tony took me to the show. He was like, you gonna do this show, you gonna get up because there's some real comics in here and I want you to see what it's like to be at this environment. I go there and I do the show, I do my set, whatever, it's cool, and then the room start buzzing, everybody's like, and then Kevin Hart comes up. He wasn't even supposed to be at the show.
Oh, wow.
And bro, it's like those moments you gotta see somebody excellent do it to unlock in your head, okay, damn, I can get to that. I've
Right.
seen it in person, not on TV. It's still far away when you see it on TV, but watching Kevin do that shit live, I was like, god damn, this man I could do that.
Right.
This ain't he's not doing inhuman shit, you know what I'm saying? And I still will forever thank you for that, Tony. So shout out to that shit, man, for real.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Speaking about that, as we're getting ready to wind down here, we're coming up on that hour mark.
Damn, it's already been an hour. We just
I
talking.
know, right?
Talking that smooth
Right?
shit.
Hey, if you watch it, man, shout out to y'all for tuning in live, bro.
Yeah,
This
facts.
is amazing.
Let's talk about that, man. I've obviously been a Sacramentian my whole life. Did I say that?
that how you
Sacramentian.
say it?
Yeah, you said that fucking right. I'm the
you
mayor of
know what I mean?
Sacramento,
Like,
so
hey,
yeah, you're
you
good.
know, yeah, you
You're a
know,
Sacramentan.
and I know Hoff.
Sacramento.
Sacramento. Ooh, shit.
Sacramento. He
Fuck
about
it.
to watch
Oh.
tomorrow.
Trademark
he gonna
pending.
change
Trademark
his, he
pending.
Gonna, he gonna change his Instagram
In the
tomorrow.
morning. In the morning. Shit.
Yeah,
But let's talk about that. I mean, obviously, we know you as a major comedian. And Hoff, you're a part of Hoff. Am I
Yeah.
correct by saying that? Perfect.
Absolutely. I just had it on my stomach, bro. I got
Oh, damn. Shit. What did it say? Thug, nasty,
It's like
nasty,
Hall of
thug?
Fame. Hall of Fame is the gang.
Thug, nasty, nasty, thug.
I got this shit so they could never kick me out. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's what's up.
That's another-
what's up.
I'm like,
Man, you can't kick me out, bro. It's from my...
it's on my fucking
It's on my
stomach, my
belly.
nigga. Come on, y'all.
What's that from? That's from Barbershop?
Yeah, barbershop.
Bruh got thug life on his stomach.
Hey, no, that Barbershop was so funny.
Yeah, it was. Right? But let's talk about that connection, Hoff. Explain what is Hoff. Explain your role in that. Like, what do you bring?
If you guys, I don't know, man. Since 2000, it was established in 2008. It was Tony Christ, Byron Neville, our boy. He's no longer part of HOF, but he's still one of our boys. Is my cousin Vinny. He DJs over at Lowbrow, and then those are the three starters right there. They started this shit in high school. They met Christian Murphy, who is Eddie Murphy's son, and Tony and them were real close with them. So they used to work in LA a lot. Christian Murphy actually came up with the name Hall of Fame. He was like, "We gonna call that shit Hall of Fame." You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
And then they came back. They had their ties with him. They came back. They started throwing parties during the time where the housing market crashed. So there's a lot of fucking houses around, but there was people were trying to make money because they couldn't be in the houses no more. So we were like, let us throw parties there. If the cops show up, we're gonna be like, we don't know who the fuck house this is. It's just a whole bunch of kids here partying. You can't really blame it. It's the house is about to get sold or can't nobody live in it no more.
Right.
So we started throwing fucking epic ass parties where white people from everywhere would come, black people from everywhere, and that's always been our formulas. Having everybody be in the mix together, no matter where you fuck you from, but just with the collected idea, we here to have a good time.
Right.
It ain't all that other shit. You could be the hoodest nigga and leave here with the preppiest white bitch.
Right.
And that's something you don't get the experience all the time. You know,
good.
but they want that.
Right.
The preppy white bitches and the preppy white boys want to go home with a black girl, and the hood black niggas want to go home with a white girl. You know what I'm saying? And it's something you see on TV, and you don't think is. So I think we came at the perfect time. I didn't meet them until 2010. We were throwing a party at my then ex-girlfriend's house, and Tony came through. And he was like, "Come with me. We're gonna go get some shit for Jungle Juice." And I was like, "I don't know this thing."
Oh my God,
I was
Jungle
like,
Juice.
bruh, when I tell
I
you,
already know where that's going.
this nigga, no. Tony made Jungle Juice, and he would put vitamin B in it, which is energy boost. So you not only drunk as fuck in this party with a
You
whole bunch
just
of
up.
you just you did damn near did some cocaine.
He did.
Hey, bro.
Out here cokish on the Jungle Juice.
This was back when we were super young. Okay?
Hey, no,
Damn.
legit. I'm gonna say this because that's actually smart. When I was doing that shit, we did have Jungle Juice. We had a little 5-gallon little keggers.
Yeah, we
we
sold that
put
shit.
fruits, pineapples,
Yes, sir.
grapes, anything in there, right?
Hell
But this
yeah.
shit had Everclear, 151 in it.
Yep.
It had all kinds
It
of
was
alcohol,
juice from
bro.
the jungle.
It was juice literally from the jungle. But the downside about it is I had hella people coming up to me like, "Bro, what's in the juice?" I couldn't finish a full cup, but I'm already puking in your backyard. If we had an upper on that bitch, that would have been.
They gonna keep going.
That'd have been boom. That'd have been good. We
Which
were
is,
thinking
you know,
at that time.
at the same time as well, people could have been allergic to vitamin B. We just don't.
Niggas was just turning the fuck up. Like, hey, we got
weren't
you this
telling
good
you all the
energy.
ingredients that was in there. It was just in there. But
Hella
Jungle energy.
Hella drunk, hella up, and hella
and
rashy.
it's just
Right.
and we what? We all fucking 19,
Right.
19, 20, going on 21 and shit.
We don't care at that time.
Nobody. We just like
Invincible.
Bro, I was just thinking on my way here. We used to go out and we would be like, we gotta go get a bottle. We'd be like, let's get a handle. What the fuck do we need a handle to go drink between 3 people? Because and then I think about, I'm like, damn, that's where I started learning how to drink, is drinking from a handle. It's like now I try not. I still drink a lot, but I limit myself to the weekends or if I have a show.
You like that? He was talking to us. I still drink a lot. Like, he over here mentally like, damn, I still drink a lot. Like,
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not a nigga that I'm not gonna drink during the day type shit. But when I go drinking, I'm there to drink. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
I'm not here to
right.
sip and. I'm out here releasing some fucking steam because you don't know how fucking stressful it is to fucking get on a stage in front of fucking hundreds of people you don't know and try to
Right.
make them laugh. And every time you get up on there, everything's on the fucking line. Every time.
Right.
It don't matter what you did months ago. It don't matter what you got coming up. It's about right then and there, about those people. And sometimes that shit gets to me. It's I don't ever want to have somebody have a bad experience with me. That's always my goal. Even if you run into me when I'm out drunk and shit, I might not be the most coherent during that time, but I want you to feel like, damn, I felt good around that motherfucker.
Right.
I felt like he knew me. I felt like it was real. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But that has to be like the ultimate high, the ultimate rush. Because I talk to my boys all the time, and I would love to know what that feeling is to perform your song in front of millions. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about it at the concert.
Soul Bloom?
No, Coachella.
Oh, got you.
Like if
Damn.
you were to go out at Coachella and rock it, and everybody's vibing to your music.
It's different, bro.
I can see it being the same thing with you going up there telling a joke.
Yeah.
And everybody's vibing to it.
Right.
Bruh,
You know
one of
what I
my-
mean?
One of my first shows I did was out here, Boogie's Comedy Slam. Shout out to DeMarcus
Oh,
Cousins. It was at the Memorial Auditorium. This was probably, not even gonna lie to you, probably like my sixth show I ever did, from getting on stage in front of people, and it was in front of 5,000 people. And
Okay.
I opened for Tony Roberts, Lil Duval,
Oh, okay.
Gary Owen, Country Wayne, and then it was me. That was the whole set right there.
Man, I know, and that was crazy. I
Gary
know all
Owen?
of
Is
them.
that the
Yeah.
white guy?
Gary Owen's the
Slash
white
bla-
dude.
He white
Country
slash
Wayne,
black.
Country
Country Wayne
Wayne
got it popular off of Facebook.
Yes, sir.
White slash black.
He was his shit's funny though.
Bruh,
Country
so
Wayne-
it's all these established ass motherfuckers, and they, people are coming there to see them. But I'm on the ticket with him. I'm on that bill. My name is
what's
on
up.
there. And so that people always ask like, how did you? That really right there, just like having that experience so early on. Like I came out and no lie, I pat myself on the back. I crushed it, and
That's what's up.
I was just like really trying to focus and crush that shit. I did this joke about DeMarcus. It was right before he's about to get traded. I was like, shout out to DeMarcus, man. I was like, don't worry about if he get mad at you up here. It don't even matter. We about to trade his ass anyway. And everybody's like, oh. I was like, no. I was like,
And the way he got traded
Hey,
too.
wait, let me tell you.
Man.
That happened. That trade happened 2 days later. So let me tell
This nigga's probably like, did this
Nigga.
nigga Mars make a call?
Bro, I
Hold
said,
on.
I said, you know what, DeMarcus, look at me. I said, look at me. I said, I'm just playing. Don't fucking leave us. We got nothing else here. I was like, I swear to God, we'll fucking paint that Golden Bridge black and call it the DeMarcus Cousins Bridge. And they all started cracking up. And just from that moment, it was like, man, I felt like, all right, I could really do this shit. And honest,
That's what's up.
as we were talking about with Kevin Samuels, bro, I've been doing this shit since 2013 and just trying. And it didn't really start popping off until the beginning of the pandemic, where everybody kind of had to sit down and really take a moment and listen to some of the shit. And I'm just happy to have my opinion be validated. That's it, man. You know, I don't go out here to try to, I'm the fucking best. You motherfuckers better. Like, you're going to have a good time with me. I don't know what more you want. That's all you can have. You know
I mean, we was talking about it off camera just, before we started rolling. The effort.
Yeah.
And the people, authenticity. People can see that. They can feel it. No matter what the quality looks like. Yeah. Like the production. Yeah. It's all cool to have, it would be dope for us to just have like a, $100,000 worth of equipment up in here, have it looking all spectacular and stuff like that, or for yourself have just unlimited amount of resources behind you to do a performance. You know what I mean? But where's the substance at? They gonna be able to. The audience is always that real barometer on what quality is, and no matter what stage you are in anything. I don't care if you're doing podcasting, I don't care if you're doing comedy, doing sports, you're doing music. People gonna see that effort and that authenticity early on. And if you just keep at it,
hell yeah.
And it may take, it may hit in a couple years. You might get lucky. It might hit. It might take 20.
It might take.
It depends. And rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. It took him a while.
We were just talking about that shit. It got to 57. Goddamn, man.
So it's like, I feel like people just need to, whatever's you passionate about, because I think that gets missed.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people get stuck doing shit that they really, really, really don't want to do. And I understand that this real life, at the end of the day, bills got to get paid.
Gotta make some money to fucking live.
But at the end of the day, it's like, I think you need to dedicate some of that time and start focusing and investing a lot of that time into something that you really want to do. And if you got to do whatever you're doing to take care of your mortgage, the rent, or whatever, do that.
Yeah.
But put that time for yourself, and whether it pays off or not, I think it helps out with your own sanity.
It's therapy, like a mother. I tell you right now,
that's funny you said that.
Men live quiet lives of despair, where they're just going about their lives, not doing some shit that they want, and it's quiet. They can't even.
No, we can't express that.
They can't
Men can't express that.
They don't even got a fucking platform to express it, or they gonna look crazy. How you not happy? You got a fucking wife, you got kids here and shit. It's like,
no, because we got to be strong.
We got to be unmoving, and we got to be always steady. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And my whole thing in my life is, it might not look the way other people want it to look, but I'm not living this life for everybody. I truly, I had this moment of fucking feeling like an imposter for a while when I was doing comedy. I was like, I'm funny, but am I that funny, or am I that? And it's like, I had to get out of my head to be like, none of that shit fucking matters, really. When I go lay down at night, I'm only thinking about myself. And then I started thinking, like, if I'm only thinking about myself, these other niggas ain't thinking about me either. So why would I think about these niggas?
Right.
And so, and just to piggyback off that shit, I'm just like, man, the effort, no matter how, if you really, and I just want to get this message out. I say this shit at the end of my shows all the time. I don't give a fuck whatever you want to do. It might seem crazy. Just try it, bro. Life is gonna go by so quick, bro.
Facts.
And if you don't try, I promise you, you're gonna live a life of despair, and nobody's gonna know it.
Man, y'all motherfuckers listening right now. Hey, what camera am I on? Which camera? Which? Right here? I'm right here. I'm right here. Are you listening? You hear what this man is saying right now? God damn it.
Yes, sir.
About the night. God damn it. We out here with Mars right now, man. I just want to thank you. I know we're supposed to wrap up like 20 minutes ago.
We could do this. We got to do part 2.
All right.
We'll do part 2. We'll do part 2. So.
Well, let's talk about part 2 right now. I know you're getting ready to make some major moves. You talked about Avery, Darling Avery.
I didn't even know they was doing comedy.
So I'm back. I used to produce my own show called What the Fuck Wednesdays. That's really how I got to know all the comedians in the city and everywhere else. I did a show at Highwater I ran it for like 4 years.
Okay.
I ain't gonna call it a little show. It's pretty big.
I was there. I remember.
But we did it every Wednesday. We bring comedians from all over the fucking place, and it was like, it felt like an open mic, but it was actually a fucking curated show. And so this is my step back into that world. As soon as I went to Darling, I wanted to do a show on that rooftop. So I got my boy Bobby Yamamoto, my homegirl Aurora Singh, and then my fucking my goddamn Larry Bird to my Magic Johnson is Lance Wood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
that's my
I went to high school with that dude.
that's my competition, and I only say that because he is the epitome of what's really good out here in comedy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't ever gonna look at another black man as like we going against each other, but I definitely, that's the competition I'm looking at myself against. I don't want to look at it against everybody else, and then you can take that how you want to, but I only go off of excellence. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
That means you feel like someone's better. You got to be better. Ain't nothing wrong with
if
that.
I feel like I was the best,
Ain't nothing
and I
wrong with
still,
that.
you know what I'm saying? How could I even get to where I'm going if I'm not
Right.
competing?
But that's
against
gonna
something?
sharpen yourself.
It's only going to sharpen my shit. You know what I'm saying? I say that what is the just respectfully.
So let me ask, how in the fuck are you going to go from Darlin Avery
Laugh.
to Laughs Unlimited? I could have sworn one show starts at the doors open at 6,
Show
starts at 7,
I do
and
my-
at the other location you on at 8. How the fuck? You teleporting?
Nah, so
That what we doing?
I'm gonna do this. Lance is gonna headline Darling. I'm gonna go second to last, and then right after my set, I'm gonna dip out and head over to Laughs, and then I'm gonna go do my shit over there.
Okay.
This shit normally.
What date is this?
This is May 19th.
May 19th, y'all.
And then May 29th, we have Punchline. I got a big ass show there. I'm headlining there. And then June 4th, I'm at the Guild Theater.
Out of Gil.
The Guild Theater, man.
Yeah.
Fucking lot of. And then June 22nd, I'm at Live Factory in Las Vegas. So
there you go.
what's up.
Man, that's what's up,
we're
bro.
moving.
Man, you over here making moves, bro.
That's
I mean,
what's
just thinking about your day on the 19th coming up, bro. It's crazy, man. Well, obviously, you guys know you guys can go get tickets. Where can they go get tickets at?
If you go on my Instagram, it's simple. It's my name, Mars, MARS .Parker. If you click the link in my bio, I got a link tree. It literally has all the tickets for the next like 4 months. So
Oh, that's what's up.
I hope to see you soon. You know what I'm saying?
Come
Facts.
through, man. Buy those tickets, man.
Facts, man. We do thank everybody for tuning in tonight once
Hell yeah.
again.
Run this shit up. We want this to be the biggest video. Man.
Right, man. Run it,
Run
man.
it up. We gotta run it up on
Just
them, man.
replay it again, man. Go ahead and put it on your goddamn Chromecast.
I
Let
know
that
our
bitch play a
voices
few
sound nice.
times.
Let that
Yeah.
shit
Not just
run.
humans either, man. Let your dog, let your cat watch it.
Fucking
Come on,
hey,
man.
put this shit on. This is good for the kids. This is honestly. This felt like a good conversation.
It was,
This
man.
felt like a good conversation.
That's what we here
man.
doing, man. We having a
100%.
good time, man. We want to thank you guys once again for tuning in to About the Night. You rocking with the best crew. You got my boy War Ready. You got my boy Tony. Let me say that again. War Ready with a 3, not an E.
Those
Right?
the real ones in the. You know what I'm saying? Those the real ones. Like
Hey, you know what I mean? They over here making things happen. So you got my boy over there managing the things on the ones and twos, Tony WSJR_official. Don't forget about our main host right here, and man, Rob. That's Suede_Coats. Oh, Suede_like Coats. I got you, baby. I got you.
He's on point.
You know,
Oh, he got it. Oh, he
I
got it.
got you, baby.
Oh, he got
I
it.
got you.
He got
And
it.
man, we can't thank you enough, Mars. We got Mars.Parker in this motherfucking bitch. Definitely go ahead and take a quick follow. Go like a few of his posts. Go like some photos. And then obviously go buy them damn tickets. You know you laughed on the show. Go buy the
Fuck
tickets and
around,
laugh some
boy.
more. You know what I
Fuck
mean?
around.
We thank you once again for being on the show. Once again, tuned into About the Night. King_of_Sacramento, baby.
Soon to be Sacramento.
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 Shout out to About the Night.
Sacramento.
Best podcast in the city.
Sacramento.
Stop playing
Hey,
About the Night. Best podcast. Yes, sir. I say that on the chest.
Word.
And your mama's up.